Okay, just a quick video on how to change the springs on a W124. The easiest way to do it is take the two bolts out from the lower control arm. There's one at the front and there's one at the rear, through further there. Also, you've got to take your sway bar rubbers off, bar out. So the easiest way to do that is get a jack and jack it up until you can pop the sway bar out, and before taking the other bolts out. Okay, step 2, you've got your sway off, and you've moved the jack further closer towards the end of the sway arm, removing both of the bolts, the two big long bolts. They should be pretty easy to move and pull out if you take a little bit of strain off with the jack. Okay, step 3, lower. Just remember that the springs are under tension, and you've got to have the car jacked up at other points as well. So just be a little bit careful with that, and it also doesn't spit your jack out, push it away from you. But yeah, these are lowered springs already that I'm removing, and they were a wrong model. They were W201, so they just about fall out. Okay, so you got your new spring, or the spring you're replacing, back in, and you've moved the jack back underneath it, and all you have to do now is jack back up and lever it into place. I normally put one of the two control arm bolts in at a time and move it around until the other one jiggles in. And remember, there is a direction that the bolt faces. Mine faces towards the motor at the front bolt and away from the motor at the back bolt. This is how to realign the bolt. So basically, get on the bolt end of it and turn it until the washer pushes the control arm either in or out. As I said, this is my front one, and my front one was closer towards the motor, so I have to keep spinning it around until it's right. You'll also have to get a steering alignment after doing any component movements like this, because you've just put everything out. Okay, so you've got to the point where you're going to put your sway bar back in. So the best way is to put your jack underneath it, move it back a bit after you've tightened your bolts up, and just pump the jack up until it meets the control arm. I did it the hard way the first time, and this is a lot easier. Make sure your control arm doesn't get jammed like that is there. You just use a lever bar to pull it out as you're jacking it up, and then you're done.